Hi, it's Linda with CreativePLR.com, and today we're going to look at brand boards. And then a little bit later on, I'm going to create one in Canva. So a brand board helps you be more organized and create a cohesive look for your business. And I can't tell you enough how important this is, because years ago when I first started selling online, and I have a shop at Teachers Pay Teachers, and I still have it. And so I tend to like every color under the rainbow. I don't care what the color is, I like it. And so the problem is that I would do a cover for one of my products and my favorite, blues and pinks or purples. And then the next time I did a cover, I was in the mood to use golds and greens. And so, which was fine for individual product colors. And then you looked at my storefront and it was very chaotic, like a schizophrenic person had done it. There was every color under the sun, and it was very disorganized looking, and it really didn't present a very consistent look for my brand or who I am, and it made me look a little crazy. And so I went back and I really toned down some of the colors that I was using, and I simplified it to 4 or 5 colors. I made my product cover images look the same, so that they had the heading, they had the text in the same place. I used the same fonts pretty much consistently, and I had my name and my logo on every single one. So I got a little bit better over time after I had enough products where I could see how crazy it looked. Now, in the low content market, I'm sure that if you go in and look at people's storefront, you will find a variety of products, which is as it should be. You can't create products for all year round and have them all in the same color range. That would not look good either. You can't have a Halloween product and Valentine product all in orange and black. That would not work well. People would not buy that. But I think if you look, you'll find that the way they designed the product covers, maybe their sales images, their wording, their descriptions, there is some consistency there. And the design, maybe not necessarily with the color, but with the font and the design and the layout, there is some consistency. So it also helps the customer identify with your consistent look. So when I'm looking at a bundle and I'm looking at the products being offered, before I ever see who the person is, I automatically know, oh, that's from this person, that's from that person. I can just tell by looking at their product images. And I think that, if you think about it, you start looking at bundle products where there's 60, 70 products listed, the really large ones, you'll start looking at product images and you go, I recognize that person. So on these are templates in Canva, and you can use a template. You don't have to get fancy. You're doing it for you, not necessarily for anyone else to look at. So you can use a template. This is a photographer, and this would be their, very elegant, serious photographer, it looks like. So here are their colors. They're very subdued. It looks like 2 colors of gray, a gold color, and a darker gray, and a brown. This is we call it a logo, but let's call it a branding mark. The name and the photography, initials inside a kind of wreath. So that's another variation of a logo or branding mark. And then this would be probably on a business card, stationery, website design. And so they call these alternative logos, but I wouldn't call them necessarily logos. That we think of a logo as a round object. They don't have to be round, but that's what they look like. There's those 5 colors, and they have the hex codes here. That makes it handy when you take this into Photoshop or PowerPoint, that you can create those color schemes in either one using the hex codes. Even in PowerPoint, you're thinking not in PowerPoint, you can always add a color theme and call it, brand board, and put these hex codes in and use those colors. Fonts, they have 2 different fonts. This is where I get, my craziness comes out again, because I like more than 2 fonts, but I usually have a script font and a regular or subheading font or a block font. And then these are inspiration pictures, and you'll see that they're very subdued shape, a splash of color every once in a while, but they're very subdued and classic. Now, here is a virtual assistant. Here is what you want to call a logo or their branding. Crimson virtual assistant, and in that frame They have 5 different colors, 3 shades of blue, a gold, and a brown. 2 different fonts, and you'll notice their script font. It's a little, this person didn't have a script font. They were very serious. A block and a lighter kind of classic font. And then, so they have a regular font, script font, and some pictures. And these are part of a, I would say, a mood board or an inspiration for when you're thinking about what you want to create. You can like refer to this and you can kind of get inspired by the colors and the design. Here's another photographer, and I'm going to put this one up next to the first photographer we looked at. Here's her, she calls these submarks. I call them, that's just like a watermark, or it's on the branding of the top of the page. 5 colors, a heading and a body. And here are the images for inspiration. Now, I do want to show you that the colors here and the colors there are very different. So this gives me a mood of party, fun, playful, lighthearted photographer. I would definitely hire this photographer if I wanted to have a birthday party, an anniversary party. But if I was doing a wedding, a very elegant wedding, this photographer might get my my vote, because they are very serious, professional, and elegant. So with that, so your brand board not only conveys your colors, your fonts, your logos, and inspiration, but it does convey a mood to customers. The next video, we're going to actually create our brand board in Canva.